Hi, I'm Claire Ridgway of the Anne Boleyn Files and the Tudor Society. I'm here talking to you today because actually I want to invite you on a dream vacation, a dream trip. I want you to share that dream trip with me and my good friend Philippa and join us on the Anne Boleyn Experience 2019. Now, I'm going back in time now to 2009, not long after actually I'd set up the Anne Boleyn Files and started researching Anne Boleyn and her family. A few people contacted me asking me whether there were any Anne Boleyn themed tours, and I couldn't find any, I couldn't think of any. So I decided to put my own tour together. Now, how I did this was, as you know, I'm a bit of an Anne Boleyn fan. So I just thought about what would my dream Anne Boleyn trip be? What would it include? And suddenly the Anne Boleyn Experience was born. And I actually called it the Anne Boleyn Experience because that's what I felt it was. I didn't feel that it was just a trip or vacation, that it was actually an experience, something that really kind of touched you and had an impact on you. And that's come true. Everyone that's been on it has been affected in a positive way, I might add. We get people that have actually been on every Anne Boleyn experience that has ever happened. So I think I must have done something right when I had those first ideas. But when I was planning the Anne Boleyn Experience, what I didn't realise at the time was just how magical it would be. And actually, the magic is down to Hever Castle, really. I think it's a combination, but Hever just manages to weave a magic spell over everyone that stays. If you speak to anyone that has stayed there, then they will give testimony to that fact. It really is a magical place. Okay, the Tower of London, which we also visit on the Anne Boleyn Experience, has lots of Anne Boleyn links, and not just to her sad times. It was a place of triumph for her. It was where she stayed before her coronation in 1533. And then, of course, it was a time of sadness for her because it was where she stayed while she was imprisoned, waiting for her trial and then her execution in May 1536. So the Tower of London is obviously a place that you need to visit if you want to follow in Anne's footsteps. But Hever Castle, for me, is that really, really important Anne place. It's the place that Anne called home. I know she was in France for a few years, but it was the place that she spent her early childhood. It was the place that she received her early education with her sister Mary and her brother George. It was the place that she felt safe when she retreated from court because Henry VIII was pursuing her. We know that she retreated to Hever because he wrote letters to her at Hever. It was the place that she fought off sweating sickness and survived. It was the place where she would have had happy family times. So you're able to walk in her footsteps if you go to Hever Castle. Okay, the gardens have changed. I mean, when you're walking around the gardens, they're beautiful, they're magical, they weave a spell over you too, but they're not what Anne would have seen. But she would have hunted in the landscape. She would have enjoyed that landscape around there. But it's going into the castle and just walking round because, okay, the Astors have put in furniture and they've collected sort of Tudor artefacts and that they're things that Anne wouldn't have known. But the stone walls she would have known, the floors she would have known, that inner courtyard she would have known. You can really, really walk in Anne's footsteps. And as you walk around it, it just weaves this magic spell over you. And you will find yourself touching the walls and thinking, Anne might have touched this, or George might have touched this. And we eat in the castle dining room. And you sit there, you're surrounded by tapestries and suits of armour, and you look up at the minstrel's gallery, and that is just one of those pinch me moments as you kind of think you are sitting and eating in Anne Boleyn's home, where she spent sort of happy times. So I don't know how to describe the magic of Hever, but it keeps drawing people back. As I said, we've got people that have been on every one of our Anne Boleyn Experience tours just because Hever just weaves this magic spell over you. And I bump into people when we have free time and we can go off and enjoy the gardens. You just bump into Anne Boleyn Experience participants and they just are walking around in a kind of trance. They are just completely blissed out, and we have people walking around the grounds before breakfast, because we have exclusive use of the Astor wing, and it gives us access to the grounds, and we have access to the grounds before opening and after closing. So you have people walking around before breakfast and before it opens in the morning. We have people dashing out in the evening because they want to see if they can see any ghosts or just enjoy views of the castle and the gardens in the moonlight. And it weaves this magic spell over you. And what I'd really like is for you, as an Anne Boleyn fan, someone that is fascinated by Anne Boleyn and Tudor history, to come and join this experience with me. I've made lifelong friends doing these tours. I mean, I call Jean, bless her, I call her my Tudor mummy. Jean's been on a number of our Anne Boleyn Experience tours, and we've become true friends. We correspond regularly, and she's my Tudor mum. And there are people that I've met up with when I went on holiday to America that had been on our tours that, I've met up with because, we've stayed in touch, because that link with Anne Boleyn, it just connects us all together, and it's just so nice to be able to walk around and talk to people without their eyes glazing over. So I want to invite you to share that experience with me, to have this magic spell sort of weave a place into your heart. So I truly hope that you will consider coming on the Anne Boleyn Experience with me and Philippa and talking Tudor with us and just having a complete blast. Anyway, I hope you'll come. Take care. Bye-bye.